GamerCast Network.
Hey. All right. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network Video Game Show, episode number 62 for Sunday, November 4th, 2007. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call when I say your name, tell me what, in your opinion, is the most ridiculous game title you have ever heard. And joining us this evening is Ivan.
I'm sure I'll think of a better one later, but I was just looking through Xbox Live Arcade games. Every extended extra extreme is just all kinds of stupid.
Sum that game up in 10 words.
Geometry Wars, but worse.
Okay, that's less than 10 words. You're very good. And also joining us this evening is Keith.
Bad Dudes. It was basically Double Dragon, except you were two guys in wife beaters and sweatpants. You were Chris Palladino.
Chris and Keith Palladino.
And you'd go around beating up Russians that breathe fire. How come every Russian was fat and breathed fire, too?
It's all the vodka. They no longer have oxygen in their lungs. It's just ethanol vapor.
Next on the list is Bob.
You know, this is one of the, you got to give us a week.
Oh, come
Because
on.
all I can think of is Dream Day Wedding or Turtle Odyssey. And there's got to be worse ones than that.
What was the name of that game you said was the worst game you ever played? Billy Wambach's Nighttime Adventure? That sounds like a porn.
Well, like Keith, I'm sure there were really stupid titles back in the day, but the only one that stands out recently is Vampire Rain.
It's raining undead. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
This week on the GamerCast Network. It's episode 53 of Uncle Gamer Radio, and Paris is out of town. What kind of trouble can Jay and Robbie get themselves into this week? Sarcastic Gamer releases its all-new parody song about everyone's favorite attorney, Mr. Thompson, plus a look back at your favorite moments from the last 7 episodes. Gamertag Radio interviews the award-winning composer Jesper Kidd regarding his soundtracks for the upcoming titles The Club, Assassin's Creed, and Kane and Lynch. On Achievement Junkie, the crew talks about life on the inside of gaming and what features you'd like to see in a universal console. Podtacular is the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. Fill your head with one of the most popular gaming podcasts on the internet. Discover the website that brings you all of these great episodes and headlines at GamerCastNetwork.com. That's GamerCastNetwork.com.
Next topic.
Ivan, you have been bequeathed more gifts from the Xbox gods. Tell us of your latest Xbox Live Arcade tributes.
The first one I played, which was the infamous Every Extended Extra Extreme, or E4. Like I was saying at the beginning, it's kind of like Geometry Wars. It's got the pretty colors and geometric shapes. The premise of the game is it plays really awful kind of techno beat music, and yeah. There's a meter kind of at the bottom of the screen that goes up and down.
The rage meter as you listen to techno?
No, yeah. It's actually the beat music meter. So the point of the game is you're supposed to make yourself explode while these enemies are around to try and get as many bad guys killed by your explosion as possible. And the meter at the bottom, the higher up the meter goes, it's kind of like a power meter in like golf. So you want to try and get it as close to the top of the bar as possible for the most points. You make yourself explode, and all of the enemies around you will blow up from your explosion, and each one of those that blows up kind of blows up the ones around it. So it's all about like trying to get chains of explosions.
And this is supposed to be fun.
I played it. It's not.
Big shocker there, I'm not going to lie.
Let's get some background here. Do you like the games like Geometry Wars?
I never did like Geometry Wars, and I really never had a good reason why. I did like Mutant Storm Reloaded, even though it's almost identical to Geometry Wars.
Okay, so you don't like math.
Yeah, geometry is advanced math, and I'm not a fan.
Okay. But the mutants out there in the world,
Mutants are fun.
Mutants are fun to kill.
Exactly, especially when they're reloaded. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the premise of that game.
A for effort, dude. A for effort.
Okay, the game's crap. Next.
Let's go with Battlestar Galactica, which is actually kind of fun. Chad, if you like Project Sylphid, you might like this one. It's different. It's not as hectic.
The only problem I had with Sylphid was that there was lots going on at one time. It was kind of hard to figure out what the hell was going on because of all the trails.
Not only were there trails, it was much like Geometry Wars, where they were all kind of pastel reds and greens and blues, and there was just trails everywhere. It plays kind of the same. It's kind of a fast-paced flight shooter kind of game. There is no trails, though, so...
So I have to take LSD instead of the game providing me with the effects.
Exactly.
Okay, just checking.
It takes the content from the new Battlestar Galactica.
So it's crap.
Well, if you prefer the 70s, late 70s, early 80s Battlestar, then yeah, you might not like this. This is definitely the newer one. It's fun.
That it's fun kind of sounded a little shaky right there.
So I only played the demo for this. The reason I didn't buy it was because they have like a 15-second kind of intro commercial thing. And you see that at the beginning. You see it after you've completed the demo. And then if you try to exit back to the dashboard, it plays it again, and there's no way to cancel it. So they just shoved this full motion video sequence thing down your throat a whole bunch of times with no way of canceling out of it. I'm sure if you bought the game, you don't get that, but it's just frustrating. You want to be able to play the demo to find out if you like the game, but you're constantly being forced to watch advertisements for the game within the game.
That's good. And what was your last title here you wanted to hit on?
The last one was a puzzle platform kind of action-ish game called Exit. I didn't care for because it was almost a straight port from the PSP version, and I didn't like the PSP version. The whole point of the game is you're this Mr. Exit, or whatever the hell his name is, and...
You just always leave?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's Mr. Exit. Oh, there he goes.
The whole premise of the game is essentially people are stuck in this building and you have to exit them out, and there's obstacles. The problem with the game is the controls are very rigid, kind of stiff. In order to jump over a hole in the floor, you have to be ready to press the jump button 50 feet before you get to the hole. And you'd think in a platforming kind of game, you get to a hole, you jump over it like Super Mario Brothers, and you jump.
I did play this game too, and it's a lot like the 2D version of Prince of Persia. Timing is very important, is very critical, and hitting the keys at the right time. So I remember you saying you don't like jumping puzzles, whereas I like the jumping puzzles, so I do like this game. If I had more time, I probably would have purchased it. It's like 250 levels.
Yeah, there's a ton of levels.
That's a lot of exiting.
You exit a lot in this game.
A lot of leaving going on.
Next topic.
Ivan, from the MVP program, you also got a couple retail Xbox games as well.
So the first one I got was called Thrillville Off the Rails. One of those games where I would never play in a million years because I would think that it's extremely awful. The only saving grace of this game is that there's 50-some-odd little mini-games that you can play, either single-player or multiplayer. The game itself is essentially amusement park tycoon. So if you've ever played any of the tycoon games, you're supposed to be like the manager of this amusement park, and you have to manage things. And
Can you kick out unruly kids?
Sure.
Is there a hot coffee mod with the bearded lady?
Yep. Disclaimer, none of the above statements are actually true and have all been fabricated. So I didn't play much of that. The mini games are a lot of fun. There's all kinds of mini games. There's a really cool motocross kind of game.
So what I'm getting here is the main reason these guys developed the game you found no value in, yet all the little bonus mini games you found tons of value in.
Exactly. And from the message board, the MVP message board, sounds like everyone has the same feeling. It's like, wow, these mini games are awesome. I've been playing them with my kids. It's a lot of fun. I can't necessarily recommend anyone go out and buy this game unless they can get it for really cheap.
Unless you can get somebody to, I don't know, give it to you.
Yeah.
Unless it magically appears on your doorstep one morning.
Finally, a game that Mary and I actually played a lot of, and it was a lot of fun, was Viva Pinata Party Animals.
Oh, God.
I know. These are all kids' games, so I'll get into the Ace Combat 6 next week.
Well, hang on. I have heard these Viva Pinata games, though, are like...
Viva Pinata was pretty fun.
Viva Pinata, the original game, is different. That is kind of a build up your garden and try and get these different pinata animals to come visit you. The closest thing I can think to this is like a Mario Party type game, so Bob would love it. It's all mini games. There's a caramel apple eating contest and a jump around on little pinata ants and bust them open and eat the candy that pops out, and whoever gets the most wins.
So these things are all pinatas. Can you, I don't know.
Bust them open with a baseball bat and
Yes, watch your
feast
guts
on the-
spill out. Feast upon their
feast on the tasty goo that leaks out. Yes, sure.
It's not very affirmative. Yeah, sure, right there.
Yeah, that sounded
Yeah.
like the last one that was followed by the statement that these were all false things and not.
No,
at
you
all
can't
real.
really bust open your pinatas.
Oh,
Sorry. It is.
That was one of the
rated
best things
E,
about
so-
Viva Pinata. That or making the very cute ones and then feeding them to the carnivorous pinatas.
Oh, you can do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, see, now I didn't know that. That puts value in the game for me.
The little savage ones come to your garden, eat all your good ones, and you're supposed to do whatever you can to stop them.
Why the hell would I want to do that?
Well, that's the whole point. Is you're supposed to stop them. You don't have to, and if you don't, they kind of run rampant and reproduce and make all kinds of other evil pinatas that eat all your good ones.
Darwin, survival of the fittest.
See, unfortunately, like I said, you're supposed to get rid of them, which means the game is designed to do that.
It ends when you do that?
Yeah, it
Oh.
kind of ends if... Well, it doesn't necessarily end, but no good pinatas will ever come back.
I don't want the good pinatas.
Well,
But
then
you
the bad
can't
ones
have-
leave.
Yeah.
Because there's no more good ones.
Oh.
So eventually you just hit kind of a pinata wall. You ran out of pinatas.
I hit the pinata wall.
You just
I
have to start-
plateaued.
Next week, I have Beautiful Katamari and Ace Combat 6 to play.
Very good. We expect you to play all those and totally not play Hellgate London.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll definitely try to do that.
That sounded like your previous statements that were followed by that. A statement was not at all true.
Next topic.
This week, the Grand Hellgates opened in London.
And quickly rusted shut and crashed. And nobody could get in.
So it did launch, and on the first night, Halloween, there were problems in getting on. They did take the server down for a little while. And for a long time, the subscribers could not activate themselves. The launch was a little rocky, as we had said, and there are still bugs, as Ivan and people have found out.
Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The game was down for 2 hours during prime time on the day it launched, which I thought was poorly played. Not only was the game down, but all the forums were down as well.
Well, they didn't
So-
feel like listening to people or reading people
Yeah.
bitch.
And luckily, they had no subscribers, so their call centers weren't flooded with...
No subscribers, which means no one has customer support that they can call.
Now, hang on. Now, the one nice thing they did do was when they put the first patch out, they had special Halloween content, which was only supposed to be for the subscribers. Yet they opened that up to everybody. Mainly, this was just a couple little quests. One guy shows up in one early part of the game that you can do like 3 or 4 quests. Nothing major. You can also make a Zombot, which does nothing.
What?
Did you get one? Were you able to make one, Chad? How's it work?
Okay, for a Zombot, what you had to do was you find blueprints. And with all the blueprints in the game, you have to find components to make whatever it is. So the Zombot required like vials of blood.
Zombie ticker. Zombie
Oh,
organ.
son of a...
You got rid of tickers, or did you cut your hand too?
Oh,
You really wanted a
what all
Zombot,
that-
didn't you?
I'm just pissed off because I've been getting stomachs and tickers and blood and these little things that look like onions. And I
Yeah,
thought,
like
you know
boards.
what? There's no point in throwing these away. There has to be a point to these. I'm going to save all of them that I can. And then I went through and I've been playing for hours and didn't find any use for them. And since I didn't have an extended inventory, so I destroyed them all.
Ugh.
Dude, it's really not that hard to get more.
Let's go through here. So the thing was, you get these little parts, you go to the blueprint, drop the parts in the thing, build a Zombot. And all a Zombot is a pet. And this kind of pet really doesn't do anything. It just kind of follows you around and is annoying. And apart from the quests and the Zombot, the only other thing was a Halloween helmet that looks like a flaming skull.
I was in the British Museum and I was killing a bunch of stuff, and the items kind of they fly up in the air and then land on the ground. Well, I noticed that one of them was a muchly stranged color than normal, so I ran up to it, and when I identified it, it was the flaming skull head thing. Right at that time, I was thinking, okay, so you have enhanced, rare, legendary. And I'm like, I wonder if there's anything better than legendary. The one above that is unique, which is what the skull head is. So I managed to find myself a flaming skull
Wait,
head.
if they're unique, and I have one, and you have
Right.
one...
Dude, I've got
Bob-
2.
Dude, they're unique, like everyone else.
But the Halloween stuff actually is ending, and they're going to start up a new theme,
Yeah, on the 5th.
which is the Guy Fawkes theme, which is the British history thing. Remember the 5th of November, that thing.
Dude, there's Guy Fawkes treats, and one of them is you can get bonfire toffee, toffee apples, and baked potatoes. It's a treat. It's a baked potato.
Dude, The English aren't known for their food. They're like the Irish. Man. They're just not known for their cuisine.
Next Halloween, I'm giving out baked potatoes, like wrapped in tinfoil. Here you go. It's 500 degrees. Enjoy.
Next topic.
Now, one complaint I'm hearing is that people are saying that Hellgate London is not an MMO.
How is it not?
It's no different than Guild Wars.
Which people saying that Guild Wars is not an MMO. Okay, here's the perspective they're looking at it as, is when you go into the instance zones, it's not massive. You can't bump into other people.
You know what? Those people. They can go drink broken shards in their beer. These people have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They have the exact same thing in World of Warcraft. The only difference is that in World of Warcraft, it's only when you go into a specific dungeon does that happen.
Now it's only one location. What about playing in the non-instanced zones?
In most cases, you're sitting there with 50 other people camping the little guys in the
you're
red
sitting
uniforms
there
that
waiting for
spawn.
something to spawn, and then hopefully you can hit it before the other 5 guys standing there are trying to hit it.
I never understood the fun of that. When we were playing Final Fantasy, there's just whole sections. I mean, literally, you'd go to this beach, and there's this bunch of mobs that were, like, easy to kill, but high experience points. So that's where everybody went. And it was like frickin' Woodstock. You'd have a little band of people over here, another band of people over here, and there's 20 of these little bands of people. And all they would do was sit there and wait for the mobs to repop, and then they'd charge them. And it was.
And nobody would let you
literally-
in their circle.
Right, it was literally fighting for mobs as they respawned, and
Those monsters never stood a chance.
yeah.
As soon as they spawn, they're getting hit from every angle.
I know there's 7, 8, 9 million people of World of Warcraft, and they find this kind of play fun, or do they mainly do the other stuff, the instant stuff?
Most people mainly do the instant stuff, which is why I think most of these people have no idea what they're talking about.
And it's got all the good components of an MMO. Like, if you don't have any friends who have this game, but you want to group with some people, you hang out in a town, and you can chat with
There's
people
a
and say, hey, I'm looking
freaking
for a
auto
group.
party option. You don't even need to do that. You can turn on auto party and just log into the game and you're grouped.
There's no
there's
fighting
no-
over loot because everybody gets their own drops. So if I kill a monster, everything that drops on my screen, only I can pick up. And then Bob will have things drop on his screen that I can't see and only he can pick up.
If you kill something, Keith, that's far away from me and I'm not there, will there still be a drop?
Yes, it still drops.
And
Just
you get all
to
the
a-
experience for it because you're all in the same instance. So you don't have to be anywhere near each other.
So obviously, the MMO aspects of Hellgate London caters to us, but not the millions of people playing World of Warcraft.
This is nothing new, though. I mean, everything that we think is good, everyone else hates.
Next topic.
So before moving on here, any closing thoughts about Hellgate London for the time being?
I was all excited today as far as first-person shooter goes and contrasting to MMOs. MMOs, as you know, you hit something once and then you just sit there and you shoot at it. I was so excited today when I was fighting something and I had to circle strafe in order to kill this thing. I was like, yeah, I'm circle strafing.
I'm just getting into the habit of realizing that I can dodge.
Oh, yeah.
When it shoots at me, I can move out of the way.
Has anyone fought the Dunger Liches that fire those really slow-moving purple pulses? You don't think those are bad until, like, there's 15 of those guys shooting slow-moving purple pulses at you.
And the whole room's filled with them and you're trying. It's like an old school video game where you're trying really hard to dodge the giant circle of death that's coming towards you in some 2D shooter or something.
Have you guys made it to the anthropomorphismus guy? Oh,
I don't
man,
think
that
so.
sucks. Area you're in, there's just this sweeping pink fog. And if you enter the pink fog, you just light on fire.
You lose $20.
You get kicked out. You're really not supposed to touch the pink parts.
A big burly bouncer punches you in the face and makes you leave.
You get kicked out of the game.
I'm sure we'll talk about Hellgate London a lot more and how crappy things are. And
And continue playing it anyway.
That's what we were also talking about, that Bob was like, this is going to be Raven Shield all over again. It's going to break. Nothing's going to work. We're going to bitch about it every 5 seconds, but we're all going to just continue to play it.
You're just going to log hours and hours on it and complain the entire time.
Next topic.
this is from the CEO of EA, John Riccitello. He thinks the gaming industry needs to rethink its pricing structure for software. He's not sure how long consumers can be expected to pay $60 for a video game. He predicts this model will become obsolete. And he's talking of the competing models in China where they basically give away the games these mainly the MMO games. They give them away for free, and you have to pay for content like MapleStory and those kind of games. He thinks those kind of structures are something that's going to be competing with the $60 price point. And the one weird thing about his comment was, the original quote he says he was unsure how long they can expect consumers to pay. Like, he wasn't including EA in his statement here. He was talking about Activision, Microsoft, and Sony.
And if that's true, so back when I had a PSP, that horrible game, Marvel Rise of the Imperfects, came out. And back then, PSP games were $40. When that game came out, it was an EA game, and it was $50. And, you know, I attributed it to the fact that, it's EA, and, well, that's how they make all their money. They screw their customers. So I find it hard to believe that they're the ones saying that, you know, Microsoft's the one who picks the price point, and we can't do anything about it, when obviously they can charge more for it. Beautiful Katamari just came out. I think it's a $40 or $50 game. So how are you trying to tell me that Microsoft is pricing?
Right now, Sony's going, yes, someone else said something stupid for once.
Okay, now what do we think? Do we think consumers will continue to pay $60?
What are they going to do? Sit there and just say, no, we're not paying $60? We'd much rather pay per month for every game we play. If it gets to the point where even for console games, I have to pay monthly, then you know what? I'm not going to be much of a gamer because I'll be playing one game and that's it. Because there's no way in hell I'm paying monthly subscriptions for all these games.
So let's back up for 1 second here. Let's say, okay, GameTap. I know there's not a lot of GameTap love in the area here, but if you were to subscribe to GameTap for whatever it is, $12, $13 a month, you can play all of the GameTap games.
No. I want to buy the game if I like it and own it, and then I can do with it as I wish. I don't want to have to log into something, or, you know what I mean? Because
that sucks, because if you and your buddies wanted to, like, hey, you know what was a fun game that we all bought, blah, 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 let's all go play it, and everybody gets and plays it. Now, if we have game tabs, like, I gotta go download this, and then I gotta get the thing, and make sure my key's okay, and I might let my subscription slide, and all this.
I also take my Xbox over, say, Todd's house or Larry's house, where we don't hook it up to the internet or something. We just plug in a bunch of controllers and play. But then again, who knows? Because we've proven we're wrong, and we don't know what people like. I mean, on multiple occasions.
Actually, we don't know what people will put up with. Oh, there's no way people... I'll be damned. I guess they will pay. Okay, well, okay. In-game advertising and with the subscription fee, there's no way they're gonna... Oh, okay, well...
That's the thing here. What if EA decides to try something like this?
EA is going to do whatever the hell they want, and they're going to say it's for the consumer, and they're going to say, because we wish to give our consumer choices, when it's not that at all. And if they do that, hey, I don't know.
Well, I guess we can follow this up here with EA's second quarter results were down from last year.
Good. I hope that they all die of cancer as well.
Wow.
Next topic.
Here are the winning questions from the Battlefield giveaway brought to you by Zeus Hates You from the GamerCast Network forums.
Hello, video game show. I'm Naruto20 from the forums, and I want to ask you this question. Crisis. EA claims I can run on 3-year-old systems, but will it still be worth it?
Personally, I've found games like that, unless you can run it good and smooth and nice, meaning you have a good computer to run it, it's not worth it. Personally, that was my view. Because you just end up lagging a lot, and especially a game like that where you kind of have to have good reaction and good frame rates and good everything. And
the thing that sets Crysis apart from all the other games out there is the fact that it has these very realistic graphics, you know, and the physics and all that kind of stuff. You can see plants get shredded to hell when you shoot them up. You can see nuclear weapons go off and have all the particle effects and all that kind of crap. You can make it run really fast on an older PC. However, is it worth it because you're not seeing everything they wanted you to see with Crysis?
Well, I mean, as long as it doesn't increase the price of the game when I buy it, sure. I mean, why wouldn't you want to have a game with extra functionality?
If it's a good game, what difference does it make?
My point of view, and that's kind of why I have the console preference now, is if I don't have a wicked fast computer, I almost don't want to play any video games on the PC. Even if they say it'll run on older machines, they always say that, and their definition of older is different from everybody else's. I mean, every 6 months, every 3 months, they're coming out with faster and faster video cards. And the only saving grace that, and I just read this in the latest Game for Windows magazine, is even video card developers have been saying that nowadays with the motherboards and the SLI stuff that you have, you almost get better performance by buying a second video card than buying the newest, greatest video card. And you can usually get, so the GTSs now, they aren't obsolete, but now they're almost the low-level video card. You're almost better off buying a second GTS and having two of them now than getting rid of your current GTS and buying
I like that.
Yeah, I will say that for a long time, I ran with a 7800 SLI setup, 2 video cards. I mean, Hellgate London played great, and only recently have I upgraded. So I lived with my old SLI setup for a good 2 years. So I can totally see people going the SLI route for right now rather than having to plump down another $600 for a whole new big setup.
Yeah, and like I said, the good part of that is since the GTS is now becoming the low-end video card, you might be able to get a second one for $150, $200.
That's my plan. That and a quad-core processor, I'll figure I'll be good for another 2 months at least.
Hey guys, I have a question for you. You seem to talk about how great Diablo 2 used to be and how much you all loved it. Recently, you started to talk about how much you love Titan Quest. Now, I know the games are quite similar, if not just a better skin. Now, which do you guys like better?
We like Diablo better. The reason we liked Titan Quest was because it was essentially Diablo with different levels and different characters and different spells.
They fixed a lot of things, but Diablo has better memories because, geez, how long did we play that thing for, man?
Years. And how long did we play Titan Quest for? 6 months? And I know we talked about it a lot because it was insanely fun. If they came out with a new Titan Quest add-on and Hellgate London wasn't out yet, we would probably still be playing Titan Quest.
Good example would be, what's your favorite? I mean, we've answered this before. When people ask, what's your favorite console system, what do we all say? Nintendo. The original NES. Why? Just because you have the most good memories of sitting there playing that console for hours and hours and hours. Is it the best? No. Every console that came out past that is a better console, but you just have more fond memories with it.
And that was Video Game Show episode number 62 for Sunday, November 4th, 2007. Any ham sandwiches or share dream pies to the world, gentlemen?
Ham sandwich of the Browns. Go Browns!
Go Browns!
I'm going to throw a ham sandwich out to a listener who is Andrew in Vegas. He offered to send me a copy of Final Fantasy VII. Thank you, Andrew, but you can keep it for yourself. I appreciate it, but I'm in Hellgate now, and I'm not going to have any time to sink into Final Fantasy VII. That would detract from the Hellgate time. Oh yes, share dream pie to the makers of Spider-Man 3. God, that film sucked. Congrats, guys. And thank you guys for totally breaking Venom. Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
You wasted him. You wasted Venom.
He did. Actually, from what I understand, they wasn't pressure, but there were so many people saying we want Venom that they threw him into the movie to appease the fans.
I heard the same thing.
They had no intention of making him a cool character.
Well, right now I'm equating the Spider-Man film series to the first 3 Superman movies. The first one was okay. The second one was very good. And the third one, well, Richard Pryor. So.
Right.
And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, or concerns to the mailbag at mailbag@videogameshow.org. Call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long-distance call, and all normal fees apply. Or Skype us at Video Game Show. And that's our app. Good night.
Oh, that
Jesus.
Sneeze where it just feels like your spine dislocates. Oh, dear God, pain. I coughed and sneezed at the same time, so the air from the sneeze didn't leave my face and my spine and dislocated instead. That was really just painful, actually. New England and the Colts are already playing? Oh,
who's winning that game?
India's up 20-10, just like I predicted. And if they win, I win $50.
You won $50?
I will if...
That's
Ow! Good. Now I just slipped my finger open. This is a bad evening, dude! My beer bottle broke.
Oh no!
My
it's a
hand
bad omen.
Bleeding everywhere.
Oh no!
And you have no beer.
Do you want to clean your hand?
I need to go for a moment. Do you think if I pour the beer into a glass that I can see, it'd be okay to still drink?
Do you have a coffee filter? Pour it through a coffee filter first.
Dude, you're a Genius. I'll be right back.
I know.
What a great start to the show so far.
I got 2-part good news, 1 part bad news. My finger's cut pretty bad, but my beer is filtering okay, and it's not my clicking finger.
Well, I guess that's all that really is important.
Rub
We'll
some dirt
throw
in
some
it, it'll be fine.
throw some super glue on it later. You'll be fine.
Oh, it's bleeding a lot, though, dude. Let me grab the paper towels, and then I'll be all right.
He needs to hurry up because this is seriously cutting into my playing time.
I'll get the super glue later.
Get it now. Get it over with.
It's still bleeding. Okay.
Whatever. No, don't do it
Nope.
now. Then just put some pressure on it and squeeze it till you can't feel it.
All right, but I'm going to grab the super glue anyway, too.
Oh, he couldn't have made one trip.
God, you and your injury, you're totally inconveniencing the rest of us.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. He's dead. Oh, my God. He's not alone in the house, is he?
I don't know.
I
Probably.
hope not. I was going to say, who lives... Oh, good, he's not dead.
Whole
We
box
can call
of miniatures
911 from here,
fell
right?
on my face. My lip is bleeding now.
Oh, God.
This is the most dangerous game show ever.
I'm never going to get to play Hellgate London.
I promised myself I wouldn't cackle as much this show, but Jesus Christ, Keith, there's only so much I can do.
I'm sorry. I'm okay. I'm filtering my beer again.
At least he's got priorities.
Okay, I got super glue. I got my beers.
Okay. Are you sure you're okay?
Dude, everything hurts.
I know. Yes.
You must not have drank enough beer. Keep drinking. I can't wait till he screws up filtering the beer and swallows glass. That's going to be awesome, too.
Oh, my esophagus is cut. Oh, my colon's cut.
All right.
Okay, I would suggest Keith getting a new beer, but if you were to stand up and walk to the refrigerator, I'm
he's not allowed to move. That's it. Done.
Dude, I only have 3 beers left.